Hi, I just wanted to kind of make this response in regards to, what you said, Annabel. Um, I think Hispanic immigrants are going through a period of assimilation, and I mean, I'm from Los Angeles, California, and about well, I went to a high school where about 95% of the population was Latino, and not everybody was an immigrant. Most of them were actually citizens, but the ones that had recently immigrated to the United States, whether it was legally or illegally, the first thing they did was put them in English classes. Additional to all their other classes was English classes. They had to assimilate and learn the language, and until they can learn the language and master it and turn that into education, then they wouldn't pass their classes. So they were very they would force themselves, to do their best to learn the language. And they were the first thing that they taught them was the Pledge of Allegiance. And it wasn't just in high school; it was in adult school. When other immigrants who are older go and start taking English classes, because most of them do at night after they come from work, they go to adult school, and that's the first thing they learn, the Pledge of Allegiance. Nobody asks them, they just hand them a little piece of paper with the pledge, give them a way to read it. They rehearse it in class. They say it every day. They don't ask them, where are you from? They don't ask them, what religion are you? They don't ask them anything, and they don't care. They're more than willing to stand up and say that pledge and say it proudly. And my mother went to adult school for years, and she actually got her high school diploma there, and she learned English, and she learned the Pledge of Allegiance, and she was so proud when she learned it. And when they were teaching it to her, she was like, we're learning the Pledge of Allegiance. I guess it made her feel like a part of something. And for us to kind of say, what, they're not for people to say that we don't try, that we don't, you know even assimilate into the culture, try to learn the language, it's just bogus. Because everybody, that's like the biggest thing on their minds. The first thing I'm gonna do is go there and try and learn English. Ever since I've been here in Mexico, people are always trying to better themselves. The same way. Everybody's always trying to learn something. Oh, you know how to speak English? Teach me something. Teach me something. And it's, I mean, I don't even know how to react to that, because I thought that was only something they did over there. But no, they do it everywhere. And, you know, like they said with Mr. Sue, and he said he was one of the wealthiest men in town. That's great. That is great for him. And if he did that with hard work, then applaud Mr. Sue. He's a very lucky man that he was able, to have that opportunity. But if he would have been cut off halfway, which I'm sure that at a point he was actually being prevented from doing all these things. I mean, if that would have happened, then Mr. Sue wouldn't have anything now. Mr. Sue would probably still be back in Korea, and he wouldn't have been able to assimilate if the opportunity was never given to him. So, I agree with what you say. You can't cut off someone in the midst of assimilation. And it's I really like this video. It showed a totally different side. And it also showed that how they mix personal issues with politics. They say this is a political issue and this is about our country, but he immediately pointed the finger at you and wasn't sure whether you spoke English or not. And that's stereotyping. I mean, he has this thing in his mind where he's not sure if all Koreans or all Chinese Americans, if they speak English or not. And for him to actually make that judgment just by looking at you, you know, he should have just said, I don't know. Like, he, I mean, he should have said, yes, I mean, you were there, intern, you're in the conversation. It's personal. It's no longer a whole, them trying to protect their country, their nation. No, I feel like it's far more personal than that, and it goes deeper. And it's sad that they're getting, they're making it so much about them, and so much about each other, then they're not really looking at the whole big picture. So I don't know, I really think that this needs to stop, and I hope it does soon, or at least they find a better way to go about it.